We're back. We've still got a finals to play here at the ETS Week 7 Open. This is the final weekly Open. This is the final finals until the Invitational, except for tomorrow's last chance qualifier, although that won't have a finals because it only goes to the semis. So, both players have locked up qualification if they hadn't already been invited to the Invitational, although I think Haidar and Buckwheat, they're pretty good players that have done well in the past, so I don't think that's changed too much of the standings there. But anyways, we've got Bruce Cambrai up against Tavrod Armory. Do we need to break this down, or should we just get into the act?
I would say let's well, it looks like the players aren't quite ready yet, but I think we should go ahead and cue them, and we can get into the action while we're kind of talking about it.
Okay, so yeah, we've got Bruce Cambrai again. Haidar on Bruce Cambrai versus Buckwheat on Tavrod Armory. Haidar just beat a Tavrod Armory deck, but Buckwheat's list is quite a bit different, right? It's playing Rise of the Challenge, Statuary Maiden, Ikaria the Liberator, Starsteel Dice Show, Talon of Nostrix, all sorts of different stuff, even a main deck protect. So there's some, this match will play out slightly differently in terms of both pre and post board. The big difference here, I think, is that Statuary Maiden that's lurking.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, the Statuary Maiden actually might be, I think it's the potential of being pretty good.
Yeah, it's not like it's that great, honestly, but like it's just making in game one, Banish has slightly other nice targets, I guess, but it is at least better pre-board, I would say, than the Copper Hall Bailiff, right? It was kind of like how, in the last match, Sifu Danny brought in Steward of the Past, and Statuary Maiden's basically going to play that same role where it's like, all right, it's not a totally awful unit to have here. It can be a nuisance. It'll maybe eventually get silenced or killed, but again, not a huge difference. The Talon Nostrix, again, also not that great in this matchup. So there's a couple clunkers on Buckwheat's side, but again, Haidar's got those main deck harsh rules, and he really is looking forward to those post-board games where he can take those out.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of communication with the back end there, just trying to make sure that we're getting the game going and make sure I don't have any technical difficulties. Okay, cool. So we are just waiting for the players to go ahead and get started. Yeah, Great Parliament seems to be the MVP in this matchup. If I'm looking at this, what would you how do you feel about that assessment?
Yeah, I mean, Great Parliament's a real good card. It's making a bunch of big units is a good way to beat Armory, right? It's the same reason Dawnwalker annoys them to death. They just keep coming, and this is a little more upfront with it, though. Yeah, the big draws are at least pre-board the Mystic Ascendant. I mean, this is Cambrai, right? Mystic Ascendant, Seraph, Great Parliament, Titan. These big standalone threats that you must deal with and can be a little tricky to deal with. And then once you get to the post board where you can back them up with more protect, sabotage, stand together, that's where they get real potent. And we saw that play out in that final match, or the final game of that last match, where stand together is the busted card that everybody knows that it can be.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see here. Daisho seems pretty good here. Doesn't answer the Sandstorm Titan, but has the potential of, if it gets buffed once, it'll at least take out 2 owls from like a Great Parliament. Could theoretically kill a Mystic Ascendant.
Oh yeah, Daisho?
Yeah,
I like it. It's going to play the role that Stone Scar Maul did in the last game, but when the board's actually cleared, it wins way faster, right? Whereas Stone Scar Maul can chip in when on a busy board, like you can hit a smaller unit and get in a little bit of reach, and that's why I kept seeing games where it's like, hey, Hyler's at 3, where maybe in those situations a Dice Show would have ended it or cleared the board faster. So very similar role. It's always fun to see what people think is the better card. But it's certainly underwhelming when it's not buffed. You typically are trying to rise for it or buff it before you ever see it in your hand, because a 4/4 Dice Show, not exactly a world beater, especially in this matchup. And I guess we're just waiting. Probably Haidar just needed a break after that last match was what I'm thinking.
Which is definitely understandable. Definitely understandable.
But we're gonna try and get this. Yeah, there we go. Looks like the challenge is going out. So we'll hop in here and check out what's going on. So this time around, we'll be watching from Hythar's perspective, and Buckwheat will be on the hand cam. As we see Hythar with not a fast hand, but I would say a nice hand. 5 power sources, gets all the fixing he needs that Seek Power can get a Shadow Button. He's going to ship it off, and
then he gets a hand he can't really do too much with. All right. Well, not that other one was doing anything, but I guess maybe learning from the experiences of the last game wants to try to get a little bit more pressure on the board early.
That one of Shadow Sigil, though, in the starting hand. What a backbreaker here. Won't be able to get all that Temple Scribe for a while, but at least she'll have a turn 3 Combre Healer.
It's a sweet beats.
Yeah, Buckwheat's got a Hammer, a Slay, and a Harsh Rule. Not a bad lineup, as Hythar is hoping to find lots of power soon.
Yeah, so...
Oh, man, Buckwheat's curve, though. And Hythar's stuck.
Yeah.
All right, he's got a Banish and a Vanquish, though, so it's not really like Buckwheat's going to present too many problems too soon, although, as I say that, there's now too many Tavrods in Buckwheat's hand for Hythar to handle.
Is there such a thing as too many Tavrods, though?
Well, depends on what side of the board you're on.
Okay.
So here he comes. Tavrod down. So that'll get out of Vanquish. And also a Find the Way finds double time for Hythar here.
There we go. Going to be able to get some of those Temple Scribes out. Or just Vanquish. Probably the better play. Probably.
Yeah. Vanquish comes out here to deal with this Tavrod. And now Hythar's got to find an answer to this second one as Buckwheat trots that one out as well. Instead, Hythar just finds a Time Sigil. I think we're going to see some Temple Scribes come down here and keep digging for either a Vanquish or a Slay. Instead, it's a Find the Way. Yeah. Temple Scribe number 2 tries, and it's just a Seek Power.
Seek Power. Just cast it. Cast the Find the Way. Yeah.
So this Tavrod's at least going to get one attack out for now, and we'll see what else Buckwheat follows it up with. No. Could play an Artisan pre-combat and, buff those weapons up a little bit more before Tavrod gets a hit.
I like it.
And he'll open up the vault, and it looks like he gets a hit. And a privilege of rank. Okay. That's some good value. That's a real fun interaction that I don't think we saw in Sifu Danny's deck.
Sifu had 1, I believe. However, the one game that we saw it earlier, I believe, was Buckwheat that actually did it.
And there we see that attack
being huge. Absolutely huge.
Yep. That sort of Icaria has 1 extra point of armor on it, so that it survives hitting that Combre Healer. And Hythar's in a real bad spot here. This still has no answer to Tavrod. Really going to have to try and win this game off the back of a whole lot of Owls. Can at least hold up Banish if they want to here, or use Banish right away, but it looks like instead just getting as much power out of hand.
Yeah, I think thinning is perfectly fine. And then this great
and they already played power that turn anyways. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, and the Great Parliament's going to be making... well, that's an Icaria. Okay.
That's really cutting down on Hythar's chance of winning, because especially with this Tavrod hitting, that means he's finding that Warcry 5 almost assuredly right away. Yep. Oh, no, the Rakano Artisan got the Warcry, so there's a 7/6 Artisan in Buckwheat's Void. But still, Tavrod at least buffed that weapon. All right, the Slave finally shows up, but might get a little too late.
Yeah. So the Banish can...
I mean, you can make 2 Owls. That's option A, but it's not very good here. Instead, Slay on Tavrod. Let the weapon, I guess, hit the 1/1, or make them use a Slay on the 1/1, and then you banish it. Or you can still Parliament. You can still Parliament. You didn't double Parliament, but you can still single if you want to here.
And if you Parliament here, you at least get to block the Icaria?
No, because they would just sword one of the birds.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You get to block. You chomp.
Chomp. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, no, but he opts to not do that, and we'll see. Buckwheat will maybe slay the 1/1 and try and go for lethal. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And you still got a Harsh Roll in hand if you go for that line. But they're, they could have a Desert Marshal, they could have a Banish. But yeah, here we go. Slay on a Temple Scribe. And then I think, he banishes in response.
Yeah, so you don't get the Warcry.
You don't get the Warcry, but now your opponent can still play a weapon and hit you.
Yeah, very true.
So, how important was that Warcry really when they already have Warcry 5?
Because Warcry 6 is one more.
That's true. So now you took 4 extra damage, and now you can double Parliament all you want, but Buckwheat's going to get to use Harsh Rule and guaranteed lethal.
Yeah.
So that timing of banish is real important there. Sometimes it is nice to deny a Warcry, but not in this spot where your life total was way more important, and we see that play out there. Again, Haidar was pretty far behind. I don't think it mattered, but
I think
it does.
Yeah, and I think the correct line there, I don't think you're supposed to play out both Parliaments. I think you're supposed to play out one Parliament.
Hold up Desert Marshal.
Hold up Desert Marshal, because then you get to pop the Aegis, and then there's the chance that you draw a Vanquish or Slay off the top to actually be able to answer that Ikaria, and then your opponent doesn't have a weapon. Things are still not looking good, but at least you have outs. That being said,
when you're behind, it's tough to catch up, but that just makes every little mistake that much more pronounced, right? Yep. It's hard to find all those little timing interactions, though, right? It sounds nitpicky, but it adds up
for sure. And Haidar also just coming off of a very long and grueling 5-game set, so I'm sure
Yeah, it's easy for us to sit up here and be like, that timing was slightly off because of blah, blah, blah. And it's come on, man. He's been playing for 8 hours or something. It's all right. So Haidar's got a good hand, and Buckwheat's got an okay one, but it's not sort of Ikaria and Torture exactly the card you want in this matchup. It's a nice hand that curves out well, but what kind of impact are these cards really going to have?
Well, if Buckwheat draws a power, they'll be able to sword and torch the Seraph and or the Titan.
And the big thing here is that getting the sword out on an empty board, you're getting war cries, you're buffing up whatever your next draws are, and at least this is a better than average sort of Ikaria in this matchup, except for that last game where there was a 9-3 one, right? But here's the torch with sword, and then we'll see what Buckwheat follows it up with. No, doesn't want to prep this next sword just yet.
I don't mind throwing it out there because Haidar is tapped out. It lets you rise next turn, for certain.
But you don't have a torch in hand, so it's not if a Titan comes here, you can swing with your 2-1 or something.
Yeah, but we're getting to that
instead point. Instead, we see the rise and no power. No power from Buckwheat, so probably rising for a hammer, I'm guessing. Oh, yeah, the draw for turn was Privilege of Rank. And there we see the 7-2 Rune Hammer. Haidar probably noticed that Buckwheat missed on power, so he's got to decide, all right, my opponent just played Rise, stuck on power. Like I said, I didn't even see that Buckwheat got a hammer before I guessed it, and we'll see if Haidar guesses that as well. But goes with the Combrade Healer, gets Sandstorm Titan out of that buffed Auric Rune Hammer range.
Now let's see if there's a block on this Artisan, which I have to imagine is attacking. Yep, we do see the attack. Do we see? If I'm Haidar, I just take it, I think.
Yeah, up to this point, Haidar's made all the plays. Oh, did he forget that Auric Runehammer got buffed by Artisan? I mean, he just blocked an Artisan. Huh. Wow. All those plays suggested he was playing around a buffed Auric Runehammer, and yet he made that block anyways. Very interesting.
Okay.
You may have just forgot that the hammer had 7 attack or something, but you're at 21. I don't know why you're making that block either. It really is an odd play from Haidar and not the kind of mistake you normally see from him.
No. Unless it's part of some Grandmaster plan, which it might be.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you think they drew undepleted power into Harsh Roll, why are you blocking? Take the 2 damage. You go to 19. I don't see a good reason to make that block.
That's true. That is that, and here all right. Runehammer's getting back.
Yeah, Buckwheat found more power.
All right.
But Haidar's got a Desert Marshal.
Well, and a Combrade Healer to put the Sandstorm Titan back up to a 5-9 and hopefully keeping it safe this time.
Yep. So While that was a large mistake from Hylar, he can recover here, assuming Buckwheat doesn't draw much. Instead, not going to use the healer and just going to use the Desert Marshal to absorb the hit.
Okay.
Wanting to get Buckwheat to essentially waste his whole turn, right? Mm-hmm. Where if he had, okay, you didn't have to silence that, but you did. Like if he went Combrate Healer, he's not guaranteeing that Buckwheat plays out that hammer there anymore, right?
Yeah.
And there's those Harshals that he'll love to get out of his sideboard at some point, or out of his main deck once we get to sideboarding, but not the case in game one.
Super interesting note, and again, this is super nitpicky, but there is a world like maybe you draw a Seraph and then you get something like a Praxis Displacer that bounces a unit. Maybe you want that Combrate Healer to actually be turned on.
Nah, the Combrate Healer died anyways. There was the intriguing option of like using healer pre-combat to buff your other healer that's swinging, but didn't go with that. And hey, Saturday Maiden got some War Cries, which is normally nice, but not when it gets put into Vanquish range, and that allows Hythar to get Buckwheat down to 2.
So what's Buckwheat got to get him out of this? Harshal, or I guess Slay, to kill the Sandstorm Titan, and then
you can have the torch. But now playing out Seraph cuts down that out. So yeah, Hythar's basically like, you need to have Harshal right here, or you're gonna have a real problem winning.
Well, that's a stats order, Maiden.
All right, Maiden. Okay.
So Maiden.
Sword. Yeah, sword just to gain 2. I like it. So now Hythar.
It's still.
No, Buckwheat has torch up, right?
Yeah. So so then you block the Sandstorm Titan, torch the 2/2, and then take the 3. Go to 1.
All right, here we go. Torch on healer, block Titan, go to 1.
All right.
And Either opting to go for it, make them have the torch just in case they were bluffing, see what Temple Scribe drew instead of activating Seraph. I think that's pretty reasonable. We'll probably see the seat come out of hand here. Yep, there we go. And let's see what Buckwheat finds. He's got 2 cudgels and a sword in hand. Can he find a solution to the Seraph problem? Nope.
Cannot.
Concession out of Buckwheat. And that gives us
game 3.
Yeah, we're going to game 3.
Or 1-1.
Tied up, so it's time to sideboard.
What do we... Well, I guess we didn't talk about what Armory would be bringing in last game. So why don't we talk about what Armory might be bringing in this game?
All right, Vanquish and Slay are certainly coming in. Talon Nostrix getting cut. Maybe some number of Sword of Icarias could go down. There's also an extra Maiden, a Rise you could bring in, and an extra Icaria that can all come in. So I think those are what I'm looking at. There's also 2 Protect. Your opponent, I think I do bring it in here against an opponent who's playing Slay and Vanquish. I think that makes some amount of sense. It's really about what's getting trimmed and where. I mean, you've already got 1 Protect main. Maybe you don't want to up that too much. Torch is also not that useful in this matchup. So there's options depending on how you feel about some of these cards. But let's see what Buckwheat is doing, as we do have the cam on him. Yep, the extra Icaria is in. All 4 torches are staying in, but the extra Protect came in, the extra Slay, the extra Vanquish. The Talons are gone. The Maidens are gone. Doesn't want to deal with Maidens here. Doesn't care about the cudgels in this matchup. Doesn't really care about the 2/4 deadly. Just wants removal and haymakers. And that's what we're going with here.
All right, cool. It looks like they're jumping in game. Oh, God, no. Oh, the old friendless jumping around, clicking on the wrong match. Always fun.
Yep, but we are into this game. Hythar, the signature quad find the way.
Yes.
And Buckwheat's got some removal and a protect. It is kind of weird that you like cut down on your units and then up your protect count. It's like a funny concept. Like protect is literally just for Tavrod and Ikaria and your face occasionally. But anyways, here we go. Find the way, find some depleted time sigils. And we're just developing the board here. And by that I mean developing the hand. So how slow do you think Hyther's going to take this depending on his draw? Because he's got this stand together for Titan and Ironthorn. Is he going to just plop down Titan next turn and make Buckwheat have it? Or what's the plan here with Buckwheat doing nothing on the first floor?
Yeah, I like playing the Sandstorm Titan. Like, this screams I have an answer for it.
Ooh, and Buckwheat goes Rise instead of Slay here. Wants to say Slay for the bigger problems. Yep. Oh, and also has a Harsh Rule in hand.
Yeah, and this is exactly why I liked Hythar playing the Sandstorm Titan, is because Buckwheat seemingly, like, and from Buckwheat's perspective, they have all the answers, right?
Yeah.
Which theoretically they do, but I like playing out the stuff because the likelihood of Buckwheat like wasting a Harsh Rule on it's slim, and then Buckwheat probably has other things to do. So I like playing out the Sandstorm Titan.
Hythar goes with the Seek power, plays that undepleted power. Finds a Savo, but I think we're going to see a find here. No, holding up Desert Marshal instead.
Okay.
And Tavrod Auric Broker shows up. So I think we'll see an immediate silence on that. Yep, there it is. And now, all right, pause there. Buckwheat chooses to not use the Protect, though. We'll wait on that. And yeah, I like holding up Desert Marshal there because, again, your opponent used Rise the turn before, so sniffing out that hammer, but now you sabotage it instead. But there's the Protect.
Gets the Protect out. Okay.
This is a lot of fun positioning here.
Yes, it is.
Of course, Hythar has Stand Together, so it's still going to answer this Rune Hammer if he so chooses, but we'll see. If Buckwheat draws undepleted power, this could get real interesting. You still got to decide how to swing. Still got a bunch of Find the Ways that he would love to get out of hand, so he's got to decide is it better to hold up Stand Together or just get these Find the Ways out of hand.
And if Buckwheat does draw an undepleted power, they have to Slay first, though, right? Or they have to
Hammer first.
No, because then Stand Together puts an Aegis on it. Yeah, so it actually doesn't matter.
Ordering does not matter at all.
Yeah.
So here it comes. Stand Together gets cast. Titan would live, but Torch and Response means it's still going to take enough damage to die.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about Torch.
Yeah, that's the line there. Sneaks it in, and Hythar just draws power for the turn, so could go Ascendant here and draw a card off it.
Interesting.
And then if that dies, you're maybe out of gas unless this hits something real good, but I think that's got to be your best play here.
Yeah. And because next turn you're going to be able to Ironthorn and draw a whole bunch of cards.
Yep, but Slay comes out instead.
Yep.
And, oh boy, Hythar is in trouble. Needs his deck to cooperate right now. Those series of turns there, man, that was... I think both players played it very well, just between the Sabotage, the Stand, and the Desert Marshal timing, the Rise. That was really awesome to see. And right now, Buckwheat's come out on top. And in comes Tavrod. And let's see what... All right, Buckwheat just passes along. And Hythar finds a Slay. Could use it on this Tavrod, but he's at 16 and is currently winning this race. It might serve him better to just slow roll it and surprise Buckwheat if Buckwheat thinks he can get a weapon out safely here.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You also run the risk, though, of Buckwheat finding another Protect or something like that. So, there's a risk versus reward, but it looks like at least all these Find the Ways are coming out.
Yeah, so Daisho is going to be able to clean up this.
Vanquish off the top from Buckwheat immediately gets fired off. And Daisho's looking good, but Seraph from the top from Hythar means we're going to spin the wheel and see if we can get a really big good.
And it looks like Shimmer Pack.
That's going to make things an 8/8, so you don't want to use it on Tavrod. I think we're just going to see it come out on...
I like all three.
Yeah, just make Seraph
Yeah.
into an 8/8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Just
like Seraph in the current state dies to so many things from Buckwheat's deck. At least in 8/8, you're playing around the weapons. Right?
Just go with the beatdowns.
Yeah.
Now this does get rid of the Aegis on Temple Scribe, but
Which
you also
is-
get in for 8 extra damage.
Yeah.
Or 6 extra damage. And now Buckwheat's got to have Harsh Rule, which we can see he does.
Yeah. Buckwheat also has the line of torching their own face. Now,
I don't see that happening.
Probably, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
A misclick could happen.
Mm-hmm. So in comes Tavrod. We'll see the block there.
Block.
Harsh Rule, and then Hythar is going to draw the Great Parliament here, right? That's what he always does.
They're going to have to. Oh,
nope.
Well, they have one more turn, right?
Yeah, nope. Yeah. They play out the depleted power. Think we'll see a dice show here. Doubt we're going to see a stash. Oh, we do see a stash.
God.
For a silenced Tavrod and a hammer.
I don't like that.
Instead of dice showing on an empty board with your opponent in top deck mode. Like you could have just put your opponent into torch range, even though you may have boarded out torch, but we saw that he didn't.
Yeah, I don't do not like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, now you have hammer to answer this ascendant at least, before you didn't, and Daisho would have killed yourself. So it works out. It does work out. It was the correct play because Hythar drew ascendant, and now this hammer is going to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, Buckwheat was at 2 health. He would have liked to kill Hythar, but he also had to keep in mind what Hythar could draw that could kill him. But of course, he also drew a 0-cost torch off Corey. So he would have had lethal. And torch is the grab. No reason to grab redundant dice shows. Doesn't want to bother grabbing the harsh rule, I guess. Although I think I would have done that.
All right.
But that would have left you dead, and Buckwheat just draws the torch off the top. First hit with the big hammer, second hit with the dice show. Torch finishes the job. And
easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, my brain hurts. That was some good sequencing by both players there.
It was very good.
All that math.
Yeah, I did not. Granted, but Buckwheat's coming off after a little bit of a break, but yeah, definitely did not see the stash line. Was not a fan of it. But I was wrong.
To be fair, the dice show line also won the game immediately. So
yeah, but it was dependent on a draw. Whereas
sure, but so is the hammer line.
Okay,
right?
yeah,
that's dependent on them drawing anything that punishes you.
Yeah.
But Hythar always draws it, so it was a good play by Buckwheat as we go into game 3.
This game
4.
Yeah,
that's what I said. All right, here we go.
You're causing so many paradoxes today, Rhino. I'm not a fan.
That's what happens when you're always right. A lot of parallel universes. All right, here we go. Hythar casting his favorite spell, Find the Way, finding more depleted power. Meanwhile, Buckwheat's got removal, weapons, and Ikaria. Just the way he intended it.
Doesn't have double justice, though, right now.
He'll have it very shortly because of this little card called Privilege of Rank will give him, in fact, triple justice.
What does Privilege of Rank do? I don't.
When you cast it, you get 2 Justice Sigils out of your deck. It's a wonderful card. Hythar can play Sandstorm Titan this turn, and then he can play Sandstorm Titan next turn. And then he can play Great Parliament or Seraph the turn after that. And that's what we're going to see as Sandstorm Titan comes out and gets vanquished.
Yeah, however, we do see a Harsh Roll and a Slay in Buckwheat's hand, along with a Rune Hammer as well. So that's Knight Chancellor probably not sticking around when it actually does hit play.
Yeah, this is threats versus answers, as first Titan gets answered, second Titan gets slayed. And we'll see. Ooh, Hythar can go Owls or Seraph and hold up Marshall. And going with the Seraph already has that 7th power in hand with Find the Way, banking on finding that 8th and getting double owl value. Oh, but Buckwheat goes with the dice show line. Gets to hit face here, but then Hythar gets to Desert Marshal and chip at this dice show.
Okay.
Yep. Important to Marshall after both hits get in. Take that extra 4 damage.
Yeah.
And here we go. Find the Way for a power. Finds a Slay. And Buckwheat's going to get to curve into Ikaria here.
It seems medium.
So here we go.
So-
Ikaria comes down. We'll have both Vanquish
Ooh.
and Hammer to back it up. So this Parliament makes 2 owls, and they're going to disappear pretty quickly. Oh, God. And a Slay. This is looking very good for Buckwheat.
Yeah. So there's the Vanquish. Do you fire off the Slay or do you play the Hammer?
No, you play the Hammer, but first you swing.
Yeah.
Because you'll still have Ikaria to block the 2/1.
Correct.
So Hythar's got to pop the Aegis and have a removal spell. You can be okay with that. And instead now a Parliament comes out again from Hythar here, I guess, but it's not going to be able to block that Ikaria with the Hammer ready to go again. Just going to find the way to thin out this deck and hope to somehow find an answer to all this while Buckwheat has a 10-12 Tavrod in hand as well.
Ooh, feels good.
Yeah, it does.
Slay, though. Hythar going to be able to answer it.
Desert Marshal can pop the Aegis on Ikaria so you can finally slay it.
But then
or
you have
slay Tavrod and continue the march of Ikaria, but 8/7 Sword of Ikaria also in Buckwheat's hand is going to cause other problems for Hythar.
Yeah,
has a Desert Marshal at least to hold up, but this onslaught's tough to keep up with. Playing out the power there, I guess not planning on drawing a Mystic Ascendant.
Yeah,
and Buckwheat's just got too much here.
Yeah, and I also think that it might have been correct to go after that Ikaria.
The real underrated story of this specific game is that privilege of rank we talked about earlier.
It was very good.
Been on exactly 7 this whole time. And if that privilege of rank didn't get 2 power, this would have been a very different game.
Yes, it would have been. Yes, it would have been. Not been able to play.
Sword of Ikaria gets
things.
eaten by a Marshal, so it doesn't get the lethal blow just yet. But Hythar will play out the Titan. Buckwheat's got the rule in hand. And that'll make Buckwheat this week's champion, taking down Hythar, who had a great run in this tournament, but ultimately Armory still a pretty good deck, it turns out, especially with the new Minotaur in tow. So there we go, 3-1 to Buckwheat.
Congratulations to Buckwheat. Hythar, still impressive plays and a string of very long games for them. So
yeah, Hythar showing that Cambrai still got it, especially with a little Banish and Slay added in. So good showing there. I think that's a deck that'll still get tuned and iterated on. And so is Tavrod Armory. We saw 2 different Tavrod Armory decks do well in the top 8 and in this tournament. So looking forward to seeing how the meta evolves and grows. There will be a last chance qualifier tomorrow, so we'll see if people iterate it all on today's decks. And of course, the Invitational's coming next week, so a lot more Eternal Tournament action. It's always happening, man. But again, hats off to everybody in the top 8. Great job to Hythar and excellent play from Buckwheat as well, taking down today's ETS. And with that, this was a long one. I thought it was Chalice that was supposed to make these go forever. Apparently, Tavrod's the new slow deck or something like that. I'm not sure, but no, actually, it's always been Cambrai. Cambrai's always been the menace lurking in the weeds. But with that, we're going to get our lovely tournament organizer in here. Rekenner's already in the booth. He's just waiting to talk. He's tired of us talking. So, Rekenner, bring us on home. Polite. Let us know everything that's going on and how everything ran so smoothly and how amazing you are.
Thanks so much, Rhino. As you just said, this is Rekenner, your tournament organizer here. First, I would like to congratulate both Buckwheat and Hythar for making it to the finals and guaranteeing their place in the Season 6 Invitational next weekend, and give a special congratulations to Buckwheat for taking the win. This is going to be Buckwheat's first Invitational and Hythar's 4th. So, Buckwheat, certainly a seasoned veteran of the ETS. Buckwheat almost made it in last season, didn't quite make it, but I'm sure everyone knows him as a frequent holder of number 1 on the ladder. Next, I'd like to thank all the players and all of the viewers. If it wasn't for all of you, we couldn't be doing this. And really, putting this tournament and stream on every week is a blast. I would also like to thank Miller Tool and Teehee, our producers, specifically Teehee, who is the one running the event today and will be running the event tomorrow, and ran both events last weekend. He's been a real workhorse for us the last couple weeks. But without them, we could not be putting on this broadcast. And thank you to our graphics and code contributors who make our jobs much easier, specifically Mengar for his tiebreaker script and deck image creation tool, and X Kirby, who is our image creator for the Team League, our video editor. He makes the amazing highlight reels we see in between rounds. He puts up the highlights of the games on Twitch and on YouTube. He does a whole lot of work on the back end. He's not just a scrap tank memer. And a huge thank you to our Twitch subs and Patreon backers. They make it possible for us to have the nice prize pools at our events, including the Team League Finals tomorrow and the Season 6 Invitational next weekend. None of this would be possible without you. Our $20 Patreon backers are Chuck Hurst, Easy, Chris Kearns, Andre Pokai, Seek Power Gaming, notably the Team Hythar is on, and our latest backer, Frosty HS. And you can find our Patreon at www.patreon.com/RNG Eternal. And thank you to our casters. So Rhino, do you have anything to say?
What year is it? No. Today's tournament was a lot of fun. Yeah, I am Sir Rhino, and I love Eternal. As you can tell, as I hyperventilate over those exciting matches, and I stream Eternal basically every day of the week, except when I'm doing tournament coverage stuff. So if you liked the smooth, dulcet tones of my voice or some of the insight that I provided or lacked, you can always check me out at Sir Rhino on Twitch TV, and you can always just click my name on in chat and follow me that way. But yeah, love Eternal, love everything that the ETS does, so I'm always happy to help, and of course, just everything in the community. So again, thank you. It's an honor to be here, and hope to continue doing this.
Thank you, Rhino. And as I've been talking about upcoming Worlds, Sir Rhino is a points lock for Worlds, so if you've been excited to hear him cast, you should be even more excited to see him play coming up in short weeks. And Mark, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, so I don't know. I stream a couple times a week. You should pop in. I try to keep things entertaining. I'm not going to say we play the most competitive decks unless we are going for Master, but as soon as we get to Master, then it's pretty much how much garbage can we throw together and do that. If you want quality things, definitely suggest going to Rhino's stream. I don't know. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing all of this all the time. Yeah.
Once again, thank you both, Rhino and Mark. And this is the part of the stream where I normally say, I normally talk about how easy it is to play in the ETS. It's free. It's open registration. We are having our last open event of the ETS for the year tomorrow. It is the last chance qualifier for the Season 6 Invitational. There is an article, a couple articles down on the front page about it. You can find out information at rngeternal.com/ETS, or you can check the tournament info channel in Discord. But we will be resuming our normal ETS regular season events. In January, we'll be having at least one for fun event in the off-season between Worlds and January. But our next few weeks are a jam-packed schedule. Tomorrow, as I said, we have the Season 6 Last Chance Qualifier. The top 4 players from that make it into the Invitational next weekend. We also have the finals of the ETS Team League. We've finished our round robin. We've cut down to 4 teams. They're doing a single elimination 4-team bracket to see who takes first and can brag for the next 8 weeks or so that they are the best team in Eternal. Given the amount of shade that gets thrown back and forth in tournament chat between the teams, it's going to be juicy. And then the week after that, as I've been mentioning, we have the Season 6 Invitational. The best 32 players from this season of the ETS will be fighting it out in a double elimination bracket over 2 days to earn $100 as first prize, with a total of $250 prize pool paid out through top 8. We'll be broadcasting. Sorry, I didn't mention on the broadcast time for the Team League tomorrow. We will be starting the broadcast at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we'll be starting the broadcasts for both days of Worlds next weekend at noon Eastern. The week after that, we have the Worlds Wildcard, which is the way we will choose our last player to qualify for Worlds. We have 7 players that will have qualified via winning invitationals and the midseason major. Then we will fill in spots based on series points, and one final player will win the World Wildcard and make it into Worlds. And of course, we have Worlds. It's a $3,000 prize pool paid out through top 8, with the winner taking home a cool $1,000. And that will be played out over 2 weekends. It will be starting on the weekend of November 11th and 12th, and finishing up on the weekend of November 18th and 19th. Whew! It's a whole lot of Eternal. I can't wait. Worlds is going to be absolutely crazy. When you look at the list of players we have that are guaranteed locked to make it, it's huge names: Unearthly, Angry Chicken, Child Roland, Hythar, who you just saw play. It's going to be a blast. And that's it for this week's show. As I've been saying, we have a jam-packed schedule coming up. So click that follow button. Check us out every Saturday and every Sunday from now until we die of exhaustion. We also stream on sometimes Monday nights for Miller Tool, and every Wednesday and Thursday for Lights Out Ace, and he sometimes streams Sunday evening after Team League. Whew! Once again, thanks everyone. Have a good night, and enjoy the music on the way out.